In this video, I'm going to explain why is it not enough and why is it not the goal to find your twin flame. Most of the videos are going to tell you that your ultimate goal is to find your twin flame, and it's like a fairy tale thing. That person is going to be perfect for you and your life is going to be just excellent, and that's why this is the ultimate goal and your only one goal. But this is not true, and I'm going to explain why, and there are two reasons for that. The first reason is that your twin flame is actually a body connection, because in the body you have the attachment system. This is an energetic system and it can sense the opposites. So opposites attract, and this is what creates chemistry. This is what creates this stirring up that doesn't matter what the person does, you are just all fired up, and this gives you a buzz. And this actually goes against what's in the head. The head is a completely different system, and the head actually likes similarities and it doesn't like oppositeness. And this is where your struggle is coming from, that on the body level you attract, but on the head level you don't, and that's why the relationship is abusive. And what these relationships really try to teach you is to create a healthy body-mind and mind-to-body connection by showing you these repressed parts that are repressed within you, because these are the things that are actually in your twin flame, and they are able to re-trigger your childhood wounds. And the reason why it's not enough to meet a person, because if you meet a person like that, that person is going to re-trigger you in your childhood wounds, but the most likely thing is going to be that you want to reinforce your old patterns, what you created as a child, unless, and this is the unless, instead of watching stupid videos why you should remain obsessed, I'm really sorry, you actually get into psychology books and you read about how healthy relationships look like, how emotionally mature people look like, and you read about the 4 attachment types, because twin flame connections are about waking you up and to be loved by yourself. So it's self-love, because what you are doing is you do anything and everything to get that love from someone outside of you, but in reality you have to get that love from within. That's the real twin flame connection, that you connect with yourself. And it also means that if the other person doesn't treat you properly, then you are able to move away. That's a self-love, that I am mistreated, I am able to move away instead of trying to do even more and more and more, that maybe this twin flame once will realize that I am good enough and we will live happily ever after. Because if the other person mistreats you, it doesn't matter if the other person is your twin flame or not, the other person is abusive towards you, you need to move away. That relationship is not going to serve you. And this is where the head part is coming in, that you create new patterns, new connections. And as soon as you do that, this is the trick nobody talks about. Your internal system is going to change, because you are full of neurocommunications, and that is what you hear about in videos, that your frequency, yes, your frequency is those neurocommunications within you. And as soon as you create different patterns, your frequency is going to change. So basically, that person who was your twin flame, you won't be able to attract to that person anymore, because as soon as your frequency changes, you won't be opposites anymore, and only opposites attract. And you also have to understand that you can have multiple twin flames, because we have broken apart into many parts. But when you accelerate your own growth, that's when you can actually have more than one twin flame, because some of the twin flames are not going to stay with you in this lifetime. Some of them are here just to trigger you up, and they take more time to change themselves. Maybe they will realize at the end of their lives, and then you meet again in a different lifetime. You do not know that. And the second reason is that the videos don't really understand what perfect means. They describe perfect as a fairy tale romance where you find this person, and as soon as you find that person and you are able to kind of keep that person with you, then it's going to be perfect and happy and all the good things you can imagine. So it's a little bit like what religion talks about when they talk about heaven, that you have to suffer and it's really bad, but there will be a huge reward at the end, that all the suffering is worth it because you will get to heaven and it's going to be all champagne and all of these good things you can imagine, and until eternity it's going to be just fantastic and you have to suffer only a little bit for this huge reward. And that's kind of the same thing. But in reality, perfect doesn't mean this. What perfect means is actually when you have a very deep self-awareness, you are able to go down in your own frequencies, in your own neural communication system, and also these three levels, the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. And when you get into your unconscious, you are going to experience two opposites, two dualities within you. And both of them are very raw and savage. They are very disturbing when you feel it. But at the same time, what you are going to feel is that it's already perfect, but in a sense that these two attract each other, and only this way can reality exist, that opposites must attract. And I cannot really explain this to you. You have to experience it and feel it within you, that everything is already perfect by opposites attracting each other. And it comes as a very deep internal feeling, very deep internal knowledge, just like pushed into you, and you cannot override it. And this is the same with twin flames, that opposites attract, because this is the basic law of the universe. But it doesn't mean that you have to stay with the person, or this person is the good to stay with. This person, sorry, the air is very dry. This person is perfect to wake you up. This person is perfect to trigger your nervous system, your attachment system, and bring that deep part of you up so you can see it and analyze it again, because you made a body-mind connection when you were a little child, when you didn't have a fully developed brain. And then you have this communication and you just keep repeating the same thing over and over and over and over. You are stuck in a loop. And this is what you have to break. But the only way to break, because it's not enough to create the mind differently, you have to relive the same trauma, the same wound. And as soon as it's triggered, you can connect it differently, because it has to be active. And that's what these people are perfect for. And sometimes they don't change with you simultaneously, because that's not their role, or they are not ready yet. But it doesn't mean that there is something wrong with you. It's that you have to recognize that sometimes you have to be able to leave the other person alone, and maybe you are going to meet 1 year later, 2, 3, maybe 10 or 20, or maybe in 2, 3 lifetimes apart. You don't know that, but you are going to meet when you are ready to meet, and you have absolutely no control over the other person. You only have control over yourself, and that's the self-development that you can do on your own. See you in my next video.